14 days after I received the second Pfizer vaccine, I felt something that I could not quite identify that was somewhere between giddy and joy, but I couldn't really get a handle on what it was that felt so powerful to me 14 days after that second shot. What I came to is simply that I felt like I was given back my future. I felt like the rest of my life opened up in front of me. And while we lost so many, in a visceral way, it seems we are at the very beginning worldwide of being given back our future. When you look at your future, what do you see? When you look at our future, the future of humanity, what do you see? Do you have a sense that you even have a future? A person without a sense of their future will be in despair before he or she even knows it. People who don't have a sense of their future, even though they don't have a clue what it's going to look like, are without meaning and purpose. The good news of Easter is you have a future. I have a future now and at the hour of our death. And Easter proclaims that not only do we have a future, but also that our future is good. It's full of goodness. I know it doesn't always feel like that. It's hard for me sometimes. It can be so discouraging to me that we are not further along in recognizing the inherent dignity and nobility of every human being without exception. That we are no further along in experiencing a communion between persons more than our divisions. Not further along in finding an alternative to all this violence. And yet it has been proven now with science that we human beings on this planet, are currently less violent. There you have it. Statistical evidence that human beings are growing up, evolving, even though in the segmented moment in some countries of the world, even our own sometimes, it doesn't appear to be true. Sometimes it seems like only chaos. Not only we're regressing, only like we're regressing, actually, sometimes 1 foot forward and 2 back. But in deep time, this all can be trusted, my friends. We've got to trust the bigger picture. We've got to trust that we have a future, and it is good. That's at the core of this feast, that we humans have a future, and God is all about it for us as surely as God was all about it that first Easter morning. The risen Christ is the omega point lived among us. We can see our future in Him. We all know it's not going to be peaches and cream tomorrow. We have plenty of reasons to be cynical and to worry. But the resurrection says that we have a future and we can trust it. God is in it. Love is waiting for us at every turn up ahead. As our mamas used to say, kissing our ouchie, when tears are rolling down our face and we're scared, our mamas used to always say, "You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay, Gary." Easter is my mama talking to me again. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I've seen the future. I've seen the future in the faces of the vaccinated. I see the future every time I fall in love, when all I can think about is to imagine a future with this person. Preoccupied with our future, possibly together, every time we fall in love, really. I see the future in our students. One of the things I love the most about my life here at the Catholic Student Center is that the people we work with the most, for them, most of their lives are in front of them. They mostly only have a future. I see the future in them. I see the future in the faces of couples daring marriage, one after another, this time of year, if it wasn't a pandemic, daring marriage in our little chapel. What is marriage if it's not entrusting our futures to this other human being with all the unknowns, with all the uncertains? Is there anything more daring in the whole world than marriage? Your marriages have a future. So do your friendships. No matter how hard things get, there is tomorrow. Count on that, Easter says. Count on it. But if there's one thing that can kidnap our future, the one thing to consider that really does maybe shorten our future, that Jesus kept pointing to again and again, it's fear. Fear. Fear of the future shortens our future. We worry. We worry more than we have to if we really believed in the power of resurrection. One of our grad students told me recently that even while everything seems to be coming back after a year of this pandemic that took so much away, in her words, I find myself afraid that it could happen again. It could happen again in my lifetime. That now I'll always be sort of waiting for the next shoe to drop. It is true that the future will take our lives away and the life of everyone I love. And that's true. And it is also true that it will be given back to us again even better, bigger, more whole than before. That's true. This pandemic took so much away from us, but we can get it back and even more on the other side of it. Over this last year, many of you have lost someone you love so dearly. I know you, and I know your loss. Yes, you have grieved, and you are grieving still. And do you remember what it was like after a terrible loss or failure to all of a sudden find yourself laughing out of nowhere for no reason? Some moment of humor, some sideways glance at life, and all of a sudden, you started laughing. In that moment, that was your future given back to you. You will laugh again. Because of this feast, we know that tomorrow is going to come because we have seen it. From that limp, spit-covered, blood-soaked dead body left in a grave, symbolized on that cross up there that I can't stop looking at on many, many days here. On the other side of that spit-covered, blood-soaked dead body left in a grave, there emerged this Christ of all history, this Christ who plays in 10,000 places, lovely in limbs, lovely in eyes, not his. This cosmic Christ, this universal Christ, this fullness of his life that becomes the promise of ours tomorrow. You heard St. Paul. He is the firstborn of the dead. Not the last, but the first. Which is to say, we have seen our future in his resurrection. His resurrection is our futures. Paul, in the second reading today, essentially was saying, if we don't have a future, then he has not been raised up. Look around. Look around at what a privilege it is to be outside right now together. Look at all this emerging natural beauty. Announcing that the seed of us today will leaf out tomorrow. The resurrection of the Christ has become our superpower, my friends. In him we have seen the future. My superpower is that I can see through him to my future and yours and ours together. If you and I have one superpower, it is that we can see the future and we can see where it's going despite our mess-ups some days. This is not naive, wishful thinking. This is good Catholic theology. Our church teaches, and I believe with all my heart, that everything is moving towards its end, toward what the Creator made it to be. You and I are already ordered to our purpose. The future is moving towards our union with God. Our union with perfect love, more and more every day, closer and closer, our union with perfect love. That's why our future is not to be dreaded or feared. All this that we call life, even our weaknesses and even our failures and even our losses, are being woven into God's future. Woven into God's future. Even my sins are being ordered to the good, all good that is God. That's where it's all going. The arms of the great mystery we call God are wrapped around all reality, pulling it all towards itself as that omega point of everything, when Christ will be all in all. You see, my friends, the future is love. And the future is only love. And that's why we trust with St. Julian of Norwich, a quote that's one of my favorites that I go to many times in a week, when she wrote, "All shall be well, and all shall be well, and every manner of things shall be well." All shall be well. Do you believe that? Which is to say, do you trust that? I'm a worrier at heart. It's my nature to worry. I've been working on it all my life, and I am grateful to say it's getting a little less intense as I go along, because I have more and more data that says worrying is stupid. But I have to tell you, Juliana of Norwich's line, "All shall be well," is the biggest act of faith I could ever imagine. Students tell me often the reasons they give up on the church. This is a reason I cannot give up on the church. It's the church's radical optimism about the future. Our church teaches that your future is going somewhere. All of history, all of evolution is being woven into something beyond our imagination that is now and in our futures. The mystery of God is like this giant magnet pulling us towards itself. The future looks like gravity, everything drifting toward everything else. Every one of us and everything around us going to be part of each other one day. This is what makes the good news so good. We're going together to something good. This whole direction can be trusted. This whole evolution, trusted. The collective experience is going somewhere good. This feast, my friends, it grounds us in a greater reality than we can see now because of his resurrection. That's why we need Easter. We need the risen Christ front and center to dramatically represent all of it to us, for us, every day. To learn how to trust the human tragedy. It's how God is working it all out. This is really good stuff. And as we start to rebuild the world post-pandemic, it's more than good stuff. Humanity needs a radical optimism about its future, that we have one, and that it is good. All's well that ends well. My mama used to say that to me all the time. Gary, all's well that ends well. Little did I realize she got that from Shakespeare. I never knew my mom ever read Shakespeare. All's well that ends well. Since we believe it's going to end well, how can we not be well right now? Yes, I saw the future that day when I got the second shot. And in it, I was alive. And so were you. And so will we always be. Before the mystery of time, we can only bow.